couple of days I did a video showing you how I spent £100 million with Leicester with only a £1 million transfer budget. If you haven't seen that video yet, there's a link to that down in the description or up in the thing up there somewhere. I'll try and remember to link it there. But the big question coming off the back of that video was, Kev, it's all well and good showing us how you spent the money, but how on earth did you get as much money as you did for those players that you sold? So in that video, we're going to look at exactly that. I've got some deadwood that I want to sell, and I'm going to show you how I go about doing it to try and get as much money for them as possible, which of course we can then go and reinvest and spend on shiny new players. Hello and welcome to another FM21 video here on the channel. I'm Kev, and coming up in this video, we're going to sell some players. Specifically, we've gone back into a version of the Leicester. It's not a version of the same Leicester save. It's a clean Leicester save. Right back at the start, I've got my Leicester beta save going on at the moment. If you want to see how I got on when I actually did it, I'll link to that in the description below as well. But we've got a half dozen players in this Leicester squad that we know we want to get rid of. And we're going to try and sell them for as much as we possibly can, maximising our money to try and get some extra pennies into the transfer kitty, which, as we know, starts at £1 million. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up to show me you like this kind of video, so I'll know to make more of this kind of thing in the future. If any more questions spin off the back of it, use the comment section. That's exactly where this video came from. People asked for it off of the last one, so we're doing this one, and I'm happy to keep answering questions in video form for as long as I need to until I've imparted all my knowledge. And of course, subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on, all that good stuff to make sure you don't miss out on those next videos when they appear. Shall I tell you who we're going to be selling? They're basically the same players that we sold in the Leicester save that we're doing for the beta. We did speculate a little bit on Twitter about maybe doing this with another club. But I've just had a look. I loaded Burnley up and had a little look, and I don't really know who to sell on that one. So without committing like an afternoon to play it as if it's going to be a real save and then not play the save, I didn't think it was necessary to make the point. The point really is how to sell players for as much as possible. So we're going to take the players that we sold when we did this for real and try and get as much money as we possibly can for them. So the 6 players that I'm going to be selling in this video: Daniel Amate, who is currently injured, out for the next 3 to 7 weeks, which that could be problematic, although the transfer window goes all the way to September, so he will get fit at some point so that we can sell him. We're also going to be selling Christian Fuchs. We're going to be selling Mark Albrighton, Dennis Pratt. That's at 4. Iose Perez, Islam Slimani, it's actually 7, and Demari Gray. They're the 7 that we're going to sell. I actually think I didn't bother putting Fuchs on because when I did it before, because he's so old, we basically got about 200,000 for him just to get him off the wage bill. But it's basically going to be a combined effort of trying to get as much as we can in transfer fees, whilst also trying to reduce the wage budget as much as possible, with the idea being we want to maximise money that we can then go and spend in the on this club. So as players come off the wage budget, I'm going to just transfer it all back into transfer budget, and the final score is going to be whatever our transfer budget is at the end, because I'm not going to be signing anybody. So let's get started on trying to sell some of these players. There's no point starting with Amate. I mean, he's on the transfer list. We'll offer him. My usual starting point is I usually don't transfer list him straight away, but he is on the transfer list already. So it's just messing with his head to bring him off the list and then put him back on it again immediately. Fuchs is also injured and out for a little while. So again, we're probably not going to get any offers for him early on, but we'll offer him out anyway. And what I tend to do as a first port of call is just, in fact, Mendy we sold as well. Should we get rid of him? I just offer them out without doing anything at the moment. Just offer them out as a starting point just to see if there's any interest at all. And then we can kind of take it from there, depending on if there is any interest. Perez definitely is one that we're going to offer out as well. Kelechi, and there's loads here that we sold, actually. There's going to be like 8 players. And it then gives you not Harvey Barnes. Gray already has some interest in him, so that's someone who we might be able to get a little bit of money for, and then Slimani as well. So I think we've actually offered about 8 or 9 players out there to try and generate as much cash as we can. So I'm going to hit continue a few times and let you know when some offers start coming in. If some offers start coming in, And straight away, we've got some offers coming in, so we can get the ball rolling with these boys. 5 players have already got offers coming in, and this is where we start trying to maximize getting as much money as we possibly can for them. So 2 offers in for Amati straight away, and I'm looking at them thinking they're offering 5 million up front, or 5.25, rising to 7.25. I think that's based on a percentage of profit from next sales. So actually, no, there are some other bits and pieces in there as well, and they're asking for 5,000 or nearly £6,000 a week wage contribution. So although they're asking for the wage contribution, it's actually probably a better deal than this one that Dynamo Kiev are offering, and because they're only offering a flat 3.3, which they're not willing to negotiate. So I'm gonna cancel that one off completely. And in fact, I'm going to cancel the Ajax deal as well. I'm going to refuse it, but use this price as a starting point to try and re-offer him out without any of the wage contribution. So if they're willing to go up to a total value of 7.25, we're going to refuse that, and we're going to offer him out for that 7.25. It's obviously less than his value. I tend to ignore that. And really, the value of a player is what someone is willing to pay for him. So we can offer him out for 7.25, which was the maximum Ajax would go to. We're going to lock that fee in. And the other thing we're going to lock in is no wage contribution. And then we're going to offer him out again like that and see if we get a bite. Now, there's a very good chance we probably won't, and we'll have to lower that fee a little bit again. But we're trying to find that sweet spot where we can start getting in some offers and not have to pay any of their wages. So Perez, similar sort of thing, 26.5 million value. We're getting offers in for 8 million. They're both non-negotiable. They seem so low. Who does he want to go to? He'd want to go to Wolves. So next step from here, we're going to accept the Wolves offer for now. We'll accept the Wolves offer, but we're going to decline the Lyon offer because we only want one of these offers in, because then what we're going to do, now we've got an offer in for 8 million for Perez. Why can't I right click on him? Is there anywhere I can right click on him? There we go. We're now going to offer him out for 10 because we're just going to try and squeeze a little bit more. So offer him out for 10 million, again with no wage contribution. If we get any offers for 10, we then go back in and then cancel the Wolves offer at 8 and start sort of stepping up, climbing up the value of their, always trying to make sure that their clubs is interested in. Sometimes at this point, you'll get a Chinese club come in and offer 20 million for him, and it seems like a brilliant deal. But if he knows he's got Wolves as an option and staying in the Premier League, he's probably going to turn them down and hold out for this. So really, it's a case of trying to get his preferred destinations up as high as you can, because then he's more likely to go. Right, Iheanacho, value of 22 million. If you remember, in my beta save, we did get like 22 million for him from Crystal Palace. It was a ridiculous piece of business. But in fact, there are Crystal Palace in with another ridiculous piece of business. So what I'm going to do this time round, I'm going to do the same thing we did with Amati. We've got 4 clubs in for him. There's interest in Iheanacho. So we're going to reject all of these, and we're going to offer him out for 17.25. So 17.25 million, lock it in, take off wage contributions, see if anybody's going to do that, and then we can start stepping up from there. For Gray, 15.5 million is his value. We're going to do the exact same thing again, because there's lots of clubs willing to go as high as 12.25. So let's reject them all, offer him out for 12.25. You get the idea of what I'm doing now. Do I have to keep showing you it? It'll be interesting to see how these offers then start to change as they come in. So remove that, get that on there. And then Slimani, who is the big one that everyone said, how did you get a fee for Slimani? Well, I've just offered him out, and straight away we've got fees. The only thing is he's unsure about joining any of them. Could be persuaded during preliminary contract talks. So I think we probably unsure about joining Shanghai, Greenland, Shenhua, or Wuhan. So does that mean he's willing to join Shenzhen? So let's leave them as the one that we leave on. So we're going to cancel that one, but accept this one, but then also just offer him out for a little bit more again and see if we can squeeze a slightly higher fee out of somebody else. Let's say 7.5. Let's see if anyone's going to give us 7.5 for him. Offer them out. Hit continue, and then wait and see. See, we've got some more offers coming in straight away. So Amati straight away has got a grumpy on because I turned down the move to Ajax. We'll ask Schmeichel to talk to him initially, but I suspect what we're going to have to do is agree with him the price. So the reason we did it is because the finances weren't right. So somewhere in here, used to be so much easier when this was a list. Oh, there you go. The finances weren't right. So now we're going to suggest an asking price to him. So he's saying 13.25. Let's bump that up to 15. Is he? That's way too high. Okay, well then we'll do it at 13.25. So he's happy to go for 13.25. So if we now get a flat offer for that, we've agreed to sell him for that. But that is more than we were offered before. So let's see if we get any more offers in for him. Meanwhile, we have our £10 million offer for Iosi Perez. So we can accept that, go back into our transfers. And now we've got the Wolves transfer that was 8 million that we can now cancel. We know he wants to go to Wolves, but I'm sure he'll be happy with Leon. But now we're going to offer him out again. So we're going to bump this up a little bit further. Let's say to 12.5 million. Again, lock it in, take out the wage contribution, exclude that, offer him out again. And this is what we're going to do with each of these players now. Just start stepping up. So Palace have come in and offered us a flat 17.25 for Iheanacho, which is a great offer. But again, it's not going to stop me offering him out for maybe 19. The thing with this deal is Palace are the only club in for him. And if they're the only deal in town, we might not find anyone else coming in and offer. So he might be going for that 17.25. Or we could decline it and say, actually, if they're willing to go to a flat 17.25, maybe they go to a flat 20. But let's see if anyone else comes in first, because it's better to try and get your bidding wars going. So again, with Gray, we've got Leipzig in for 12.25. So now we're going to offer him out for 15 and see if we can start creeping that deal up. I think we've got to go and cancel a previous deal for some of these boys, haven't we? Both Gray and Iheanacho, I think. Or did we just cancel hide inactive deals? So Gray has only got the one offer in. Iheanacho has only got the one offer in. That's fine. And then Slimani, we now have a couple of offers for 7.5. These are for the teams he wasn't keen on before. So maybe we accept one of them, cancel the other one, offer him out for 10. I mean, he's probably not going to want to go, but you never know. We might get the original club that he was semi-interested in to come in and offer a much higher price for him. So go back in, Slimani, get rid of that 4.4, boom. There's going to be a couple of these boys who haven't had any offers at all, so we're going to have to offer. Right, so he wants a payoff. So for him to go to Genoa, so this is this the 8.5? So they're not. Right, we'll deal with the Perez bid in a minute. In the wake of that, he wants to ask for a payment of 57,000. I'm not bothered at all about a flat 57 grand to get him to complete a £7.5 million deal. You could negotiate this, but you know what? I don't want to jeopardize the deal. We'll just accept that. Right. The board are saying they're not happy. Well, we've already cancelled that deal, board. But the board are now putting their foot down and saying for Perez, it's 14.5 million or nothing. So we need to bear that in mind. We've got another deal for Perez in there, haven't we? So can we bump that up to 14.5? I'm going to accept that. I just want to ignore the board for now. Reconsider blocking the sale. They agree with me. Good. That's got them out of the way for that. Because then we want to come back into Perez again, where we've got, I think, 2 offers on the table. So we can get rid of this £10 million one now. And now we can offer him out for 15. And we might get him up to what the board wanted. So now we offer him out for 15. And selling wage contribution, we remove. And that was Perez. And then Slimani, we've got offers in for 10. These are crazy offers. But the thing is, he's already agreed with that other deal, hasn't he? So he will go. He's discussing a contract with them at 7.5. I think we probably need to. We've got to cancel that now, haven't we? And just accept one of these. Which one of these is the bigger club? They're 2-star and rich. They're 2-star and rich. So let's just cancel that one. Offer him out for 12.5. We're going to top out at some point. We know we've got that deal at 7.5 that we could potentially do, and he's not against it. We are going to cancel it because we can now potentially get a little bit more money. So let's cancel that 7.5 million deal, which was in contract negotiation stage. See if he maybe wants to go to Wuhan. Right, the board are trying to block that. I just need the board to just back off of this deal, please, board. Thanks. I've already spoken to you about this, board. So you were willing to let him go for 10, but not for 12.5. The board are a problem there with the Perez deal because they've messed it. They've messed it up. We were going to get that job done, right? So if they want 14.5, let's offer him out for 14.5. Board, for goodness sake, you've got in my way there and cost us money. Very frustrating. Right, let's see what else is going on. Wolves have withdrawn. The board have wrecked that. Absolutely wrecked it. Right, let's jump forward a little bit until we've got some more of these deals a little bit more negotiated. You know what I'm doing now with these ones. These are the boys that are getting offers. Once we've got them out, we'll deal with the ones who didn't get any offers first time round. In fact, they've now appeared on my screen. So Mendy, Amate, and Fuchs. I thought we got an offer for him. We turned it down, didn't we? I tried to be clever with him. So these are the three that no one's interested in. So we need a slight change of tactic with these. So for Mendy, it's time to put him on the transfer list. So put him on the transfer list and let's start a price at 15 million. We're not going to lock it in yet. We're just putting feelers out at 15 million for a transfer listed version of him. Amate, it's a little bit different because we've got that fee agreed with him. So let's offer him out again and see if we can get Ajax back on board, but we might have to drop his price. And for Fuchs, we're going to do the same thing we've done with Mendy. We're going to transfer list him. We're going to put him out there, for, let's say, for 500,000. We don't need to lock that in and just see what we can find. So we have an offer for Mendy of 9.5 million, raising to 12.5 million from Ajax. First thing is, I think I'm declining it because it's got a wage contribution, but we now know what kind of prices we're dealing with. So we're going to reject that, offer him out for 12.25, I think was what they were maxing out at. And then see if we can get anyone to pay that as a flat fee with no wage contribution. And then we get him into the same kind of ongoing discussion process. I don't need to introduce myself to the squad. It's all good. We're lovely, best of friends. Yeah. But then we get him into the same kind of ongoing discussion thing as everyone else. How do I storm out of this? I'm just... Oh, that's a long meeting. They're all downcast. I've upset them all. Don't randomly do meetings, folks. Right, we need offers. Give me more offers. Okay. Right, slightly different situation now. Mendy has, apparently he's only just signed a new contract, but we now know Wolves are willing to pay 12.25, Everton 11, Leeds 9.75. So this is new in FM21, getting this kind of extra information in. So although they're willing to pay 12.25, they didn't, because that's what we just offered him out for. So let's try him at that 11 that Leeds are apparently willing to pay. And we, of course, know that Ajax are interested as well because they made an offer before. So let's get him offered out. Amate, we need to start dropping his price down. So let's take him down to, let's say, 11.5. I think the deal we originally had from Ajax was very similar to the Mendy one, and it's interesting. I wonder if Ajax are interested in both, or if it's a one or the other thing with Amate and Mendy. We're going to knock Fuchs down even further. Just really getting him off the wage bill is more the priority with him. But we're going to persuade each of them to find a new club as well, because every little bit helps with trying to get these players interested in leaving. Because what we want to do is make sure we don't find ourselves in a situation where we finally find them a deal, but they turn it down because they want to stay. We really want them to want to leave. Right, now we have offers for Mendy at 11 million. He's interested in joining Shanghai Greenland Shenhua. Right, so that's that one. So he's interested in them. So we're going to accept that deal. We're going to decline these two deals. And then you know the drill from now. We try and start driving the price up with some of the other ones. So now we take him back up to 12.5, although we just offered him out for 12.25 and there was no bites. So what we might find is 11 million is where we top out for Mendy. But 11 million to get £50,000 a week off the wage budget and 11 million to spend, That's really big in the first transfer window of FM21 when nobody's got any money. So I'm not against doing that deal at all. Don't get too hung up on getting the supposed value that the game tells you a player has, because it's just a number plucked out of the air. Oh, there's our offer for Mendy as well. So Wuhan are in with 12.5. So now, where is he? Now we get rid of the 11, offer him out for, let's say, 14, and see if we can get that other team back in for him again. So 14, offer to clubs. We've got an offer for a guy that isn't part of the experiment, so we can get him gone. So we've got lots of players in contract negotiations. Mendy, Gray, Iheanacho, Slimani are all in contract negotiations. The other ones are in the process of having their offers. There you go. They have come back in. Absolutely spot on. 14 million flat fee for the club that he wants to go to means we can now go to Wuhan. Sorry, 12.5 is no longer enough. Can we push to 16? I mean, we are getting close to his notional value now, which is absurd, really, when you think that not so long ago we offered him out for 12 million and no one was interested. Now we've got an offer in for 14 just because we've kind of dangled him in front of clubs now and they're interested. Right, talking of clubs that are interested, there's lots of clubs who want a wage contribution here. Now, in the circumstances, this guy's on 45 grand a week. They don't want a big wage contribution. It might not be a disaster, and we're going to accept one of them, and then we're just going to offer him out again without the wage contribution. But I'm not against paying 2k a week to get 43k a week off of the wage bill. That still seems like good business for a player we've got absolutely no intention of using. Right, we have offers in for Amati again. So they're similar kind of deals to the ones from last time. I'm more interested in getting more money up front, so I'm going to accept that one. Decline this one, and then we're going to offer him out again for 11 because that's what we're capping out at. I'm not against that Dynamo Moscow deal at all. So we want to keep that on the table, but let's just see if we can convince anyone to give us the full £11 million up front, because that would be perfect. Right, Mendy is leaving for £14 million. That is an incredible piece of business. Slimani has done us dirty, though, and doesn't want to go to Wuhan, and this is going to be the problem we have with him. So now we know Wuhan's a non-starter for him. There was that club that he was willing to go to, though, but I think it's Genoa who we've just taken money off of. So now we're going to offer him out for 8 million, see if we can get anyone back in nibbling for Slimani. Iheanacho is being linked with Newcastle for 21 million. That is interesting. So let's offer him out for that. I mean, if that's what the media are telling me, pay attention to the media. Let's see if Newcastle really are interested at 21. Yeah, he's in discussions with Palace, but not for that kind of money. So that's Mendy confirmed as going. Shenzhen are now in for Slimani at 8 million, as are Genoa, and this is where he wanted to go. Oh no, he's got no interest in joining them. Right, we're now going to keep both, rather than trying to maximise money. We're now, here we go. So we can do the payoff again. I'm 8 million. I'm over the moon with. In my beta save, I only got 4.5 for him. Damn it, Slimani! We just agreed to your payoff. We need to get a European club interested in him, we just have to keep dropping the price and try and get anyone from Europe interested. Why am I scouting? We're not buying players in this. I'm getting into the save already. You've already done this save, Kev. Right, we'll be back when there's more. Oh, actually, no, there's more action already. No, there isn't. We'll be back when there's more transfer action. Right, Amate is going 10.5 million to Dynamo Moscow. We will accept that. Fuchs is going to Austria Vienna with the slight wage contribution. That's fine. We're going to accept that as well. That's 2 more big sales, and we're starting to run up some money now. Obviously, when you're doing this for real, you're then starting to reinvest this money and starting to buy players straight away. Iheanacho has turned down Palace. That is a nightmare. Why have you done that, Kelechi? Right, we start again from the beginning with him. So what was it? 17.5 million, I think we had accepted from them. That's frustrating. I think in the beta save, I sold him on deadline day to them. But you can see we're starting to accumulate some money. So we're up to 22 million. Plus, with the savings on the wage budget, I've put that the wrong way, we're now up to £31 million just from selling some fringe players. So we've sold, at this point, Mendy, Amate, Fuchs, and we've now got over £30 million to spend. We've obviously got some clauses we could sell as well, which I'm not going to do because for the purposes of this, I want to keep score by looking at what I'm selling. Gray is now leaving as well, so he's going to Leipzig for 12.25. So that's him gone, which again is bumping up our current high score. We do the budget adjustment. We're now up to nearly £45 million of money to spend, and at the moment we've not sold a player that I would have used because I know I didn't use them. Right, we've not got any more active deals going on. So, of the players that we identified that we wanted to sell, who's still here? We need to start off Albrighton. I feel like I might have forgotten to offer him out initially. So let's start from scratch with Albrighton. Dennis Pratt, again, is another one that we didn't want. Because these are players we'll obviously be replacing with all this money that we're bringing in if we were doing this as a full save, as we did in the full save. Iose is not set transfer status. So we're just kind of beginning the process again. But, learn the buttons, Kev. We're beginning the process again with these players. And now there's fewer of them that we're working with. We can, let's just offer them out. We can concentrate on these ones a little bit more. And we just offered Iheanacho out, didn't we? But let's see what offers we get in now. And we have an offer for Perez, 8.75 million. It is a lot less than where we started, but you've got to kind of get that out of your head, not get too hung up on fees you had agreed before, and go through the process again. We've accepted 8.75. Let's offer him out for 10. With Iheanacho, we had 16 agreed before. Newcastle now in for 13. So we're turning down this Ajax one because it's got wage contributions in, but let's accept the 13, offer him out for 15 and see if we can somehow get Palace interested again, although he's already turned Palace down. So probably not much point in getting Palace interested again. And why would they bother coming back in when he's already turned them down? But we now know Ajax are interested, so we could potentially get some business done with Ajax. Oh, I forgot the problem with Perez is the board want a certain amount. Oh, board, you're ruining me here. Board, come on. So it's got to be 14. I mean, we might not end up selling him. Again, if I refer back to my own beta save that I've been working on the last week or so, you might remember from that, I ended up keeping Iose Perez for the entire of the first season. This is why. We did then sell him for about 20 million the following summer. But sometimes you're just going to get stuck with someone because you're bored of digging their heels in and there's just no way to get him out the door, which isn't ideal. I guess the option would be to offer him out for a loan to try and get some wages in, which maybe if we can offer him out for a loan with a potential future fee. So if we're offering players out for loan, if we can find someone to pay his £100,000 a week salary and then get a future fee on, a mandatory future fee at that 14 million. We're not going to get the money now, but at least we get him off the wage budget now. It's worth trying because these are the boys we're not getting any offers from any other way. Let's drop Slimani down to 5.75. We've got to conjure up some interest in him from somewhere. And then Albrighton, we haven't actually transfer listed yet. So let's get him on the transfer list. Let's offer him out for 15 and see if we get any nibbles for Mark Albrighton. Well, it's not the kind of offer I was hoping for. £1.9 million, but they are willing to pay his full £70,000 a week wages. We know we're not going to use him, so we accept it, and then you know the drill. We start offering him out for more. So let's see if we can get anyone in at, I don't know, 4 million for him, just to try and get any kind of money from anywhere. I've now offered Iose Perez out just for loans. Oh, in fact, hold on. Wow, that's come out of nowhere. I offered him out for loan, and we just had a 14.6. I don't care that there's a wage contribution. We will bite their hands off for that. The only difference we did to bring that one in is we actually formally put him on the transfer list. And sometimes that's enough to get a club to come in and make an offer. So now we've got Perez hopefully on his way out. Oh, you are kidding me, board. We agreed on 14.75 before. Oh, I've just agreed to cancel it. I pressed the wrong button. Damn it, Kev. Right, so let's try it 16. The board are messing with me here for Perez. This is absurd. Let's try again. The amount of times that boy's been out of the door and the board are just getting in my way. Very upsetting. Right, who else are we still trying to sell? Have we got any ongoing deals? Albright, Ian Acho's potentially on his way to Newcastle. No one came in with a bigger offer. So it looks like he might be going for 13, which is a little bit less than I was hoping for him. We've got Slimani, who we've offered out, but isn't really interested in going. We'll come back to Slimani. We'll circle back round to him. We're going to deal with these ones we've currently got ongoing. Sometimes just waiting a little bit in the window is all you need to do to get some interest. Ian Acho's a problem. I've just realised what I've done. I've not put him on the transfer list. We offer him out again. We're going to once we accept this next offer, we're going to put him on the transfer list because he's deciding to stay and compete for his place. See, that's a pathetic offer, and this is all my fault. But we accept it. We now offer him out for a little bit more. Don't be like Kev. You got to transfer list him a little bit earlier. There you go. He'll now want to go because now, right, Old Brighton, I know it's a tiny fee, but he's old and it takes a salary off the budget. So I'm happy to do that. Slimani increases asking price. I mean, the whole staff setup here has lost their minds. We're not increasing his asking price. We just want a shot of him. Somebody come and make me an offer for Slimani. Please, somebody make me an offer for Slimani. Right, we now have an offer for Iheanacho at 10. Right, we're getting somewhere again with Iheanacho. Let's get rid of that offer at 6. If we can salvage this deal, I'm going to be very impressed with my own wonderful ability. What am I talking about? I absolutely messed this one up. As soon as we got the offer from Palace, he should have been on the transfer list and he'd have gone. So that's any difference between the 17.5 million they offered and what we end up getting. It's absolutely my fault. Right. Have we got a current offer in for Iose? We haven't. I'm so frustrated with this deal. It's so annoying. Because we have clubs who are interested. We've offered him out again without any of the locked-in stuff just to see if we can get anything going for him. But I need the board to just let me manage my squad the way I want to. It's weird that they've got no issue with me letting Mark Albrighton go for 1.9 million. They're digging their heels in over Iose Perez. I don't get it. Right, this one is on me. Iheanacho, because he's transfer listed, is now willing to go for 10 million. Obviously, I could have got 17.5 from Crystal Palace. I could have got 13 from Newcastle. I just didn't transfer list him when I should have done. That's my fault, but you can obviously do better than that. We've accepted an offer for Perez again for 10 million. The board are again digging their heels in. So let's talk to the board again. I have no intention of playing him. Oh, we're never going to get rid of Perez. I've tried offering him out on loans, but no one wants to pay his wages. We've basically got to get 16 million for him, and I just don't think we're going to in this start of FM21 transfer market. We might do in January. It might be a case of just waiting. Let's just update the high score chart. They were up to nearly 65 million pounds for Svenzies now, plus of course 33 million for next year's budget. You're now seeing how I was able to spend 100 million. You could almost do it without having to use the installments that we used in that video. But we've still not sold Dennis Pratt. We've still not sold Slimani. We've still not sold Perez. We could potentially get up to £100 million budget. Oh. Right, we're going to leave that for a couple of weeks with Perez and come back to it. We've still got time. Right, we tried a last-ditch tactic there and I didn't even film it, but it worked. We were asked about our Premier League squad and we left the 3 players who we didn't want out of the squad. Slimani got in a mood about it, put in a transfer request, and immediately we've had offers in for him. So which one of these? I mean, none of these are Al Duhail. I'm confused. And we're going to accept these 2 offers. We're not going to accept the Ajax offer because we don't want to pay a salary contribution. So We'll just offer him out again at 4 million, which seems to be the new going rate for him. Now he's on the transfer list at his own request. He was already on the transfer list. But weirdly, the other two didn't even get in a mood about this. There's nothing I can do to get rid of them. I suspect our best chance of getting rid of them is going to be deadline day now. So we might just leave it be with those two until deadline day and see if we can maybe do a deal for them then. I'm going to take their squad numbers off of them as well. I don't think this is going to make any difference, but I just really want to drive home to these three players that they are not going to be part of the team next year. So no squad number for you, no squad number for you. How have I missed them? Right, where's Slimani? Let's put these in order. Have I got only certain players on here? No. Right, there's Slimani. He can lose his number. They'll just need Jose Perez. He loses his number. They'll get the message. They will get the message eventually. Right, Slimani has gone for 3.9 million. 4 million. 3.9 million being added to our budget, which means, again, we can go around here, adjust the high score because we get his salary back as well. So we're now up to 72 million. With two boys still to leave, we have just had an offer from Brighton for a loan for Dennis Pratt, which will be, I think they're paying 70% of his wages with a future fee of 13 million. If we can sneak it past the board that way, what it will then do is add on to next season's budget, which although it's not money we can spend now, it is money we can then do a loan to buy with and still have access to this summer. Similar to how in the Leicester save, I signed Divock Origi on loan with a future fee locked in. So it is still a way to use that money to reinvest in the squad now. And it's a way to get round the board, just being awkward with me and not letting my players go. Our loan has gone through, so that's 13 million that's going to be coming in next summer. It hasn't actually added onto there, which I thought is what it did. But at least it gets his salary gone and it's money we know we're getting in the future, although it's not actually helped us towards our score now. So if I'd have known that, I'm sure that's not how it usually works. If I'd have known that, I'd have kept hold of him and tried to sell him. But hopefully we do get rid of Jose Perez, who is currently in discussions with Crystal Palace over a £16 million move to them, which if we can squeeze that one through before deadline, that's a huge deal because that is a deal that the board aren't blocking, which is lovely. There we go. He's gone. He's finally gone. And that is all of them. What was it? 8, 9 that we identified have now all gone, which means we've ended on a score of 88.8 million of spensies, plus 33 million for next year, plus the ability to use installments and all that kind of stuff. So if you wanted to really maximise selling fringe players the way we have there, obviously Leicester are now on a tiny squad with the season about to start. In reality, you're signing players while all this is going on. But you could go out and spend £200 million now using loan to buys and installments and all the stuff I showed you in the other video. Wage budget, we've got the potential to double our wage budget and still have transfer budget left if we had to. And that's just from getting rid of fringe players and maximising the amount of money we got for them. And some of those deals are good deals. Some of them, obviously, we could have done a little bit better, like Iheanacho. I suspect we probably could have got a bit more for Mark Albrighton as well. But the rest of these, I think these are some really solid deals. And in another universe, like in the beta save that I did, we sold Pratt for like 15 million. But obviously in this version, we let him go on loan because it ended up, I thought it was going to be a better deal, and it wasn't. You live and you learn, don't you? But that is how you maximise sale prices for your fringe players, so you can go and have some spensies window 1 on FM21 when you've got no money. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos and more stuff like this if you want to see more stuff like this. And thank you very much for watching.